All right, let's dive right in. Today, we're looking at a huge rivalry that's brewing in the world of AI-powered coding, OpenAI's Codex versus the AI native editor, Cursor. Honestly, it's a showdown that's changing the game for how we all build software.
And look, this isn't some niche, fringe thing we're talking about. A recent Stack Overflow survey found that a massive 84% of developers are either already using AI tools or are planning to jump in. This stuff is officially mainstream.
So that brings us to the big question, the real heart of this explainer. It's not about if you're going to use AI anymore, that ship has sailed. It's about how. Do you want an AI that's an autonomous agent, something that works for you? Or do you want a co-pilot, something that works with you, right by your side?
To really get a handle on this choice, we've got to look at the two very different philosophies that kicked this whole thing off. Okay, here's the core difference in a nutshell. Think of Codex as your autonomous agent. It's like having a lightning-fast junior developer you can just hand off entire tasks to. Cursor, on the other hand, was built to be your integrated co-pilot. It's like a really thoughtful pair programmer that's built right into your editor, working with you step by step. So the Codex workflow is what you'd call out of the loop. Basically, you give it a brief in ChatGPT, it spins up a secure little sandbox in the cloud, and then it just goes. It plans, it codes, it tests, all by itself. And when it's all done, a finished pull request just shows up, ready for you to review. You really are delegating the whole thing. Now contrast that with Cursor's in-the-loop approach. It's totally different. It starts by reading your entire codebase, so it has deep context. Then you're chatting and collaborating with it right there, inside the editor. You're refactoring and tweaking things in this super tight feedback loop. It's all about partnership in real time. You know, this whole idea of choice is really where the industry is going. As Andre Karpathy put it so well, the best AI tools have an autonomy slider. They let you decide how involved you want the AI to be, from just simple little code completions all the way up to full-blown autonomy. So for a while, the choice was pretty clear, right? You had the hands-off agent versus the hands-on copilot. But then, one single strategic move happened that just changed everything, and all those clear lines started to get really, really blurry.
And here is the plot twist. Cursor went and launched its very own web agent, a tool that does the exact same delegated workflow that Codex pioneered. All of a sudden, Cursor wasn't just a copilot anymore. It was a full-on platform, competing with OpenAI on every single level. When you put them head-to-head like this, you see the fundamental difference in strategy, specialization versus flexibility. OpenAI is betting everything on its own custom-built Codex 1 model. Cursor, on the other hand, is betting that you want the freedom to use the latest and greatest models from anyone, all supercharged by its deep understanding of your codebase. Okay, so with both platforms now offering these powerful autonomous agents, we had to put them to the test. We gave them the exact same coding challenge, making a few changes to a simple snake game. For round one, we kept it pretty straightforward. We just asked both agents to give the score text a retro font, make it a bit bigger, and pop it over to the left side of the screen. You know, a classic front-end styling job. So they both got it done, but they took completely different paths. Cursor was way faster, like under a minute fast, and it was definitely more creative with its styling. Codex, on the other hand, was much more methodical, more conservative. It even ran a test command before it submitted the code, which is interesting. And this takeaway from a developer just hits the nail on the head. If you need a safe, predictable first draft for some critical production code, Codex might be your guy. But if you're iterating quickly and want some creative flair, Cursor really does feel more like a front-end engineer who just gets it. All right, for round two, we decided to crank up the difficulty. The task this time? Change the snake's color to yellow when it eats a power-up, and then change it back when the power-up wears off. This meant it had to actually understand the game's JavaScript logic. And again, Cursor was faster. But this is where it gets really interesting, the logic. See, Codex just turned the entire snake yellow, completely forgetting that the head and the body were different colors. Cursor, though, it got the nuance. It turned the head yellow and the body a darker gold, perfectly preserving the original logic. It just understood the code on a much deeper level. So the big lesson here is that for these more complex, more creative tasks, that underlying context engine is absolutely crucial. Cursor's ability to read between the lines and get the structure of the existing code gave it a huge advantage. So after all that, what does this actually mean for you? When it comes time to choose your AI partner, which way should you go? Let's break down which ecosystem really fits which kind of developer. Okay, OpenAI's Codex is probably the right call for big companies where security is the #1 priority. That isolated sandbox is a massive selling point. It's also for developers who really believe that a specialized, fine-tuned model for coding will always beat a general one. And of course, for teams who are already living and breathing inside the ChatGPT ecosystem. Now, the Cursor ecosystem, that's built for developers who want the whole shebang in one package, a top-tier editor and a killer agent. It's for people who value flexibility above all else, who always want access to the newest, hottest models. And it's for programmers who are convinced that having deep, persistent context of the entire codebase is the ultimate superpower. So, let's just boil it all down. The TLDR is this. For those super security-sensitive jobs or big tasks you just want to delegate and forget, Codex is probably your best bet. For speedy, creative work and for refactoring code right inside your editor, you're going to want to go with Cursor. So where does all this leave us? Well, this rivalry, this intense competition, is actually shaping the future of software development for every single one of us. You see, with Cursor jumping into the agent game, that old philosophical debate, it's over. It's done. What we have now is a straight-up feature-for-feature competition, and this race to the top is going to push innovation like crazy, which is just fantastic news for all developers, no matter which side you're on.
So yeah, the race is definitely on. But as these AI partners get smarter and smarter, the most important question starts to change. It's not just about which tool you pick today. It's about how you, as a developer, are going to grow and evolve right along with them. Thanks for tuning in.